y'all remember, I'm pretty sure you do. If you don't, I'll remind you. Last election cycle, not election cycle, more so during this Trump's presidency. People, they forgot how much of a hawk on the border that Obama was. I know conservatives like to have in their fairy minds, some conservatives like to have this sort of fantasy land where Obama was not strict on immigration. And I would encourage you to actually look at the numbers. There's a reason why a lot of people called him the deporter in chief, because that man was getting people out. And I'm not talking about reassessed or redefined removals. I'm talking about physical removals. Obama was not playing around. He was not playing around. And the fact that some people don't seem to understand that is really indicative in the fact that, well, Trump comes along and here we are. They're so mad right now about, or they were, at what was going on at the border, particularly separating children from their parents, and the idea that there were children that were kids, migrant kids that were being separated from their parents, despite even how they got there. See, now I want to preface it by saying this: I don't care what your position is on the immigration. I really that's not even relevant to the point that I'm actually about to make. Really, the point of the video, for the most part, I don't even care. I've done my videos on immigration and what my position is. It's got a good video over at on my channel. I think it's on my channel and it's on Being Liberty TV, talking about libertarian position on immigration. Nonetheless, these fools need to understand, no matter where it is. I always thought the whole trying to present something as bad simply because, okay, you get detained and the kid is separated from you. And I don't hear a lot of people mention this. I'm like the only one. I mentioned this on Blaze when that was the topic of conversation. You know how such a stupid argument that is? It goes to show that people are just emotional. Let me ask you something, guys. Let me just ask you something. What would happen if the state deemed that you did something that was illegal and it was time for you to be detained, arrested and detained, essentially, and you had your kid on you right now? I'm just saying right now, it doesn't matter if you had a warrant out for your arrest or whatever it was, and you were with your kid. I want in the chat and in the comments, if you're watching this after the fact, what would they do? What specifically would they do if you were with your kid and you were about to be, or not about to be, you are being detained? What would happen? What would happen in the event that you obviously commit? Again, when I say crime, I'm not meaning an actual crime. I'm saying they deem something as illegal. Someone in the chat says they separate you. That's exactly what they would do. Now, I know that's not the point of the video, but I wanted to throw that out there, how stupid of an argument, a non-argument that was, that people ever went to that and say, well, something is bad because something is bad because, or rather what's happening at the border is because they're separating kids from their parents. Anybody in the country that is with their parents and are about to be detained for something that the state is deeming illegal gets separated from their child. What, you think you go to jail with the child? Are you stupid? No, they separate you. It happens to every single person that just happened to be with their kid in the event that, well, the state decided you will be detained. You get separated from your kid. Again, it ain't about me condoning it or how you feel about it. I'm just saying that it was a bad argument. But check this out. Y'all remember that Trump, all that migrants being separated from their kids. That was a big talking point. Insert AOC crying in front of an empty fence on the other side. We know that AC is a drama queen. We know she does that. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Probably didn't. Watch the Time says right here. Nearly 3,500 unaccompanied teens and children are stuck at the Border Patrol stations waiting for shelter beds to open. So not only that, You got not only the separation, you got the kids basically going without. The largest number of minors held this way during the Trump administration was about 2,600. So there's more of them being more unaccompanied children separated from their families. That's what that term. No, it's all a language thing, right? Unaccompanied. What does that mean? Person not there. And that was the case that a lot of people were making. Like a lot of people are sent, and I say this as a person that lived in South Texas, and I know this. Some kids are like sent. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about just simply with trafficking. Yeah, that is a thing. But, like, hey, go. That some maybe think that, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why you would do that, but you send your kid off. I want you to have a better situation, and they think it's worth it to send them off with some person that they don't even know that can semi-promise them to get them across the border. Yeah. But that's interesting. Also, Fake News Network even had to concede it. It's exclusive unaccompanied migrants staying in the Border Patrol facilities on an average of 107 hours. Thousands of migrants who crossed the U.S.-Mexico border alone are being held in Border Patrol custody for more than 4 days on average in facilities for unfit minors. It's just so hilarious to see that they know that this is like hypocritical, but they can't bother they changed the language, right? Well, the language was when it was Trump, it was child separation, kids be it in cages. Now it's shipment containers, basically, which it was the same thing. Cages, it's just like it's different. It's different, and it's because of COVID. Whatever that chick, whatever the press secretary or whatever name is. On average of over the last 21 days, Custom and Border Protections encountered 435 unaccompanied children. Up from a previous average of 340 children. And that's funny. Like I say, it's like unaccompanied children. Now, they didn't care to split that hair when it was talking about Trump. Again, I'm not here to defend Trump. I don't care. I'm just a response agency right now. It's funny how they changed the language where every kid that was there was separated, physically removed. Now it's just, they're just unaccompanied. Interesting. Nonetheless, what's happening at the border is much of the same stuff that was happening when Trump was at the border, though the language in terms of it being reported is a little different, but it's the same thing. Now, are you going to see them get mad, or is there going to be like this big campaign or anything? Maybe among some of definitely people of Mexican descent, because there are some people of Mexican descent that were really call them the deporter in chief, talking about Obama. But this is the thing, and why corporate press is so evil, because they in the pockets of more so the DNC than anything. But the same thing has been happening. Again, I told you, don't take my word for nothing. Go look at the numbers. Even with Trump, when you look at Trump's first, only 4 years of being a president, he deported less people than Obama did in his first 4 years. Those are the facts. Yet these people who would generally consider themselves open borders people, that are the statist open borders people. So it's like, hey, the state should be paying to get everybody from everywhere to, those guys are who I'm talking about. Act as if it's only coming from one party. And as I always say, and I'm going to end a video like this, as I always say, these morons get to vote.